again, if there's too much people, too much resistance there, you'll just move on and help Von Dance.
All right, good evening and welcome to Squad Ops Saturday Night Event. Tonight we're going to be running Operation Chainlink. My name is Google Trex and I'm going to be your host for tonight. So, we are just still working on getting set up and the commands are still working on their plan. So, we're going to kind of wander around and see the battlefield while they work on that.
Squad with the MTLB, his squad, pushing from the hill, and Londans and half of your squad will be able to push in from the east. Copy that. Okay.
Yeah, tonight we've got a pretty good turnout. It looks like it's going to be a full op for us tonight. Yeah, we've got Kenneth and Creeping for our commands tonight, actually. And for Kenneth, this is going to be his first time commanding. He is one of our newer members of staff, and he is excited to get his feet wet with this op tonight. So we'll see how he does with that. Creeping is one of our long-standing members and a veteran commander, so I hope this turns out to be an interesting op, and that Kenneth can give him a run for his money.
Again, move on to here. But if they do have that compound, don't push it at all.
We're gonna start our first session off. Actually, I believe we're gonna stay on this Russian ground forces team for both rounds. I'll be swapping to the team, the other team, so you get the same perspective for both rounds. Both rounds will have the same people as blue and red, but we'll get a different set of command comms for the next round.
Into the trench, and then listen up for cells to give you good references so that you can help them. You'll probably want to use the smokes as well to help Evan and the long darts when they push from two directions, if possible.
I'm going to be playing this operation tonight on Yeho AASV2. It's got a nice sunset to it, and that sunbeam effect sometimes comes into play when angling your attacks. We'll see if they take advantage of that set of blinding sightlines tonight. I know Creeping is experienced enough to consider that kind of stuff on offense and defense. We'll see if Kenneth has a way to counter that.
Silent, Evan, Long. Anything from you?
While we're waiting, let's go ahead and go over the squad leads that each command has tonight. So for Creeping on the regular militia forces tonight, he has Triton, Stormfront, Bird Person, and XF for his squad leaders. All have done it a few times or many times. Some of them are newer. All of them are very good and definitely know what they're doing with squad leading. On Kenneth's side, he has Lawn Darts, Dr. Kamikaze, Silent, and Evan SMA. Again, all very experienced and well-versed squad leaders, know what they're doing, and are going to give a good showing of themselves tonight. We've got a good amount of cameras tonight as well that we're going to cycle through here in a little bit and show you their point of view as we start the operation live. That way we can kind of give you a point of view. Got a good mix on both teams. But it looks like we're going to have 10 other cameras besides myself as well. Looks like Russia might be lining up for their brief, and we'll try and listen in on that if and when they do.
That's fucking solo. Where's one solo?
He hasn't responded.
Yeah, it looks like we might be starting the brief pretty soon here. We'll try and make sure that we can get you a good listen in on this.
Let's start off platoon briefing.
Here we go.
Okay, so Dr. Kamikaze, Squad 7, will take the MTLB with the machine gun. He'll also load up Evan on board. He'll push up to our east using this MSR he'll push past Central Petrivka on this road, and somewhere in this, where the woods start, he'll drop off Evan. Evan will then push through this wooden path through here, and then, depending on the timing, because we want to type this well with lawn darts when he will be attacking from a different direction, he'll push through here, and then hopefully into the trench from the eastern direction. So that's what Evan will do. Now, Dr. K with his MTLB, once he dropped Evan off somewhere here, he'll then push past Bonovo with the MTLB, hopefully catch the enemy Logi off guard, take it down, and if not, he will dismount his guys just past Opanovo. Then they will push with the MTLB support onto this hill, and then he'll have a good sighting into the trench and be able to fuck everything up with that MTLB gun. He will most likely encounter contact on top of this hill, so when Evan pushes from down here, you'll be able to, form some sort of crossfire in between, so that you can eliminate anything that's on that hill that we don't want to be there. So again, Dr. K will provide support from that hill in K981. Evan will be pushing from the east of the trench. So that's our eastern flank set up. Now, Silent and Londarts will take the trans as well as the Logi. Silent will be in charge of the mortars. So, leaving from main, you'll be going at the map edge, somewhere on the border, pushing to your south, and somewhere around here on enemy base, you'll set up the mortar fire base. So again, the Logi will stop there with half of Silence guys, and the half of the Silence guys that are in Londart's trans will also be dropped off there. So again, Silent will have his squad holding here, building up the mortar fire base. Once he's built that up, one of his fire teams will push across that field and check if this compound is occupied. If the compound is occupied, you will not engage. You'll just fall back and help with Londart's assault. So, talking about Londarts, once he drops off half of Silence guys, somewhere around here at N645, he will follow down south next to the map edge, where he will drop off, he will stop on the side of the road, just north of it, somewhere there in the foresty place. He will drop off his guys there, and then he will push south again. There's a trench here that you'll be able to cross this field into this forest, at which point he'll push further west, hopefully not encountering anything, and if he does encounter, you'll be able to have mortar support at that point, and then he'll be able to assault the trench from the west. Sorry, from the east. So again, Dr. K is on the request pickup mark. Evan is on the mortar mark. Silent is on the green fob mark, and Londarts will hopefully finish on the enemy fob mark. Any questions?
What does intelligence suggest about enemy vehicle assets or other assets?
Okay, so they will either have four techies, or one techie and a mortar. And they will always have a Logi. So there's definitely enemy Logi. There's either 4 techies or 1 techie and 1 mortar.
2 techies. 2 or 4 techies.
Yeah, 2 or 4 techies, sorry.
What's the contingency plan if we take contact along Mike 5 and 6? Like, if we can't circle down... If we can't circle down below the south, I'm with Londart Squad. If we can't circle down and we take contact in, like, Mike 5, what do we do then?
Right, so basically you'll have to push. However, you'll hopefully have a fire team from Silent Squad, and Dr. K will still be able to provide you support from top of the hill. but you won't be. There's no other way you can enter that trench without exposing yourself to a field. At which point you'll just fucking die. So that's the only forested part that you can take cover in to enter that trench. So again, hopefully with support from Dr. K from the hill and fire team from Silence Squad as well as his motor support, you will be able to push in from the west. And obviously Evan will hopefully divert some of their attention east. Okay. Again, guys, remember your basics of smokes, use cover, try to bound, use your flags, call things out, and hopefully we'll survive. But yeah, Chainlink is it's one fucking deadly trap. So as soon as you get to that trench, yeah, go on.
How many lats do they have?
They'll have one lat squad.
Alright, cool.
They also have 4 scouts.
Oh yeah, so please, spacing is very important. We had something on the last top like 2 hours ago where literally like 8 people died to grenades simply because they were too bunched up. So remember your spacing. They do have a mortar, hopefully. Well, probably they'll have a mortar. I don't see a reason why they would go with the technicals. So they'll probably have a mortar as well as the IEDs. So just make sure that you have spacing. Also, because probably they'll have hardens in the farmyard. So Evan's squad do not push into that farmy place, right? Because they will have the fob in the trench. They can't have it in the farmhouse itself. So what we did last op is we actually pushed too far, while we could have easily just taken down the fob. Because we went that far, we would have had the fob, but we pushed into the farmhouse and we just died. So situational awareness and all that.
So dig out the fob at all costs first.
Exactly. That's right. So if your SL dies, essentially just try to regroup with the closest friendly element and push off from there.
Alrighty.
So if you try to take 2 heavy losses, which Evan will most likely do, he's our diversion squad. He's attacking the hardest point.
Right.
If you're in Evan's squad, just basically divert the guns. Fire into if you have to. Use smokes, hide. Again, just don't die needlessly, because without your diversion, they'll face every single gun into lawn darts and Dr. K, and they will not be able to survive that. So you are there to essentially draw their fire.
If I recall correctly, they have 2 MG placements, correct?
Yeah, depends. It depends which option they go with. So if they go with the fortified option, they'll be able to get 1 mortar and 4 HMGs. If they go with the mobile option, which gives them the keys, they'll have 2 HMGs and no mortar.
Check out Panda.
Any questions? Anything at all?
He's on land.
Right, again, listen to yourselves. They're fucking really experienced, great bunch of guys. If you have any questions, they'll pass it on to me if they can't answer.
Panda, don't
But good luck, everyone. Hopefully we'll win. We'll see. But good luck.
What are you doing here?
Check out Panda, man. He's all lit.
All right. It looks like that was the brief from Kenneth. Long, detailed, and sure to get him a fun op. We're gonna take a little trip over while they're getting set up and see what the militia are doing here at their defense point. See what Creeping's got set. Looks like we've got a live time in about 30 seconds, actually. So we will get to see them moving out soon.
If you think it's best, make sure you have the most ammunition possible.
The MTLB's near right? I was gonna say Evan can help.
Negative. Yeah, Evan's giving. Sorry. Dr.
Yeah, it
K,
looks like they've got a nice. They've got a couple vehicles here.
What vehicle are my extras going into?
Got the fob. Yeah, it looks like they chose, if I read this correctly here, that they chose the fortified farmers, getting them an additional techie and possibly the mortar. So the way this works tonight is the militia command before live gets to choose 2 options. He's got a set amount of things that he gets, but if he chooses to go with what we are calling the mobile militia option, it allows him any 3 technicals and 2 HMGs on his fob. If he chooses the fortified farmers, his platoon gets 2 additional lat kits, as well as a single technical, 4 HMGs, and a single mortar. So a little bit of options there, and it makes it unpredictable for Russia.
Oh, fair. Let's pick up the guys.
Alright, so it looks like Muff Bandit is on your screen right now, and he is in one of the technicals. It looks like they may be running around, possibly trying to set up an ambush of some sort for the Russian ground forces.
Hey. Alright, once you got me in, go ahead and move.
Rock and roll.
It's like the Muff Bandit here in the SPG technical. Looks like that squad is heading out. And it looks like they're heading south on the road. We'll see what that turns
just
into.
start running.
It's possible they're going to try and go for an ambush. Well, they are heading away from the forces currently. Curious to see how that develops, but we're going to race back over here to the Russian ground forces and see where they're headed. So they have a Logi. Russia has this Logi, and tonight on the operation summary, it shows an option for them to build a FOB. They get to choose a fire base option or a weapon squad option, and if they are building this FOB, that allows them 1 mortar and 2 defensive HMGs for this FOB location. We'll see if that's what they choose to set up here, or if they're just using it as transport.
I believe we've to the crossroads for the disc.
Hey Evan, we're gonna do it here.
Here in just a bit, we'll rattle off some of our live cams. You're getting a couple of them tonight. So far we've seen Muff, XF, and I believe
Alright, I want
on Nuke.
Alpha from Bravo, follow. We're gonna do, we're just pushing now. It's Alpha, get in and push.
Somewhere on that road to the north, maybe?
You got it.
Mine's down.
Get a little bit of a view of our defenders here building up their location, their bunkering down location. This trench here is out in the open. It's really hard for Russia to assault. It's historically caused a great firefight, as well as a lot of interesting tactics used to get their troops in close. I've seen bullheaded rushes just right down the field toward the location, as well as some sneaky background tactics, getting guys up on the hill, and sneaking troops through the forest here, which is actually one of the better options. So we'll see what they go ahead and choose to do tonight. So, yeah, it looks like they just left a squad behind to build, and we're going to chase down some of the other guys. It looks like they went out for some kind of ambush. See if we can hunt those guys down. Yeah, we're playing on Yehorivka tonight. It's one of the largest maps, I believe, aside from Gorodok, one of the larger maps in Squad, so it allows them a lot of movement freedom. So it's very easy to lose a squad in this, apparently.
No eyes on logic yet?
Alright. Actually, it looks like we may have a location here.
Understood. Make sure that fire team can spot you.
Far to the right, give me a direction. 50, and then the radio's 53.
53.
You can barely see it. You can barely see the reflection of it. The light.
I'm trying to look for it, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I see the truck still.
Looks like XF is doing a little bit of scouting for us tonight, and they may have possibly spotted something.
Yeah, it's like M6 somewhere.
You can hardly see it.
Tell.
Okay. Keep an eye out over there, Pickle.
But it's the same distance.
Raj. Let's make sure we're checking all directions still. That might just be their possible fire base.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking as well. We see the fob, but we don't see.
Well, that would explain some things. I did not have our outlines on for the enemy team, or enemy to me, the red team,
or one squad
our defending team tonight. So red team, any of the red guys, their objective is to defend this trench and this fob, and any of the blue guys, which is going to be Russia, is on attack. They're trying to take stuff out.
Like further south, like them up, push further south, and there should be trees.
It's like they have a great spread of guys on this hill, just trying to get eyes on any movement, and probably an ambush of some sort set up for anybody foolish enough to walk up this embankment. So why don't we go ahead and rattle through our cams real quick, giving you a quick brief glimpse of all of the people tonight. I know I have a list here, and we're gonna just roll through. Alright, so we're going to get Digit on screen here real quick. It's one of our cams. You're going to see them quickly roll through. CG Fu. The Muff Bandit.
Ken, if you go south, there's a tree line to get eyes on the compound.
Merrick. Nuke Dukem.
Want to do this 2 at a time or just 1 at a time?
Rose Dragon.
Beak already went, so.
Silent. Triton. XF.
Cover him.
And last but not least, me, Google Trex, your commentator for tonight.
You already said across the road. I don't know why you guys stopped.
West, actually.
West?
Let's see if we can.
Northwest, direct
get some
northwest.
slats.
Apparently we got infantry northwest.
It looks like XF may have spotted enemy contact.
Give me a grid.
Close by here. Who do you think he's
XF, go ahead and load up into your techies, but don't leave yet. Load up, but do not leave.
Possibly these guys out in the forest ahead of me here. It's possible. That's quite a thing to see. Let's see what else we can. He had Binocs out. Maybe he ended up spotting the vehicles and the fob guys. That's a long stretch for him to be seeing.
I have my guys watching that
We'll find out what comes through on the comms.
Coming from the west. Okay, let's get Lats orient to the west. Lats orient to the west. Techies, I want you to hang here. Once we have sight on
Insanity. Anyone with squad can sign up at squadops.gg, go through a quick basic training course, and yes, they can participate in the Squad Ops event.
If you're infantry, just stop. I do not want you on those techies.
Guys, spread out from the techies. You're going to be a target. You're going to be a target if you're by that techie.
Techies, I don't want you showing yourself yet. I want to know where it is before we attack it. He knows something's up.
It sounds about southwest of me.
Yeah, I heard the techies definitely.
Where is he?
Looks like XF may be set to engage an enemy.
I'm gonna fall
See
back
if we
to
can
second
hunt
line.
him down.
Fine.
Yep.
Here we go.
Alright, yeah, it looks like the defenders have spotted
Let's see
some
the picture
contact.
from here still.
This is... Let's
Give me a
get
direction.
some names up and see.
They're-
We've got
they're moving.
CG,
They're,
Food,
311.
Digit. A couple of our cams are with this small group of people they are shooting at.
Probably to the north of you, mate.
Yep, looks like a single squad-size element has made their way to the tree line. This is going to be a great place for them to advance, so long as they aren't spotted the entire time. Looks like the defenders may have taken some casualties. Yeah, it looks like Jack may be the first casualty of the night. Yeah, we've got XF squad. Is this XF? It does appear to be possibly XF squad is... No. Who do we got here?
Eyes on infantry contact ×2. Southwest of Stone's position.
Looks like he is.
Yep, XF squad is the one engaged in combat here. Looks like one of the enemy MTLBs, Dr. Kamikaze, and FX-1000, not to be confused with XF. Got the MTLB here. And we definitely have contact. Let's get out of these sunbeams so we can see what's going on. Oh, dang. Yep, the MTLB has spotted and taken out 1, 2, 3 guys so far. With troop support, he looks like he's dismounted a few troops. Got grenades going off. We've got a couple of guys right on top of each other. Let's see who wins this engagement. This is why you give your vehicle troop support. Without that, this MTLB may have not... Nope. I spoke too soon. MTLB spots him and takes him out.
Yeah, I need you guys on me so we can roll up on this guy.
The Muff Bandit here with the SPG taking a shot, or wanting to take a shot. I know, I can just feel it. He hears that MTLB rolling around and he is on the perfect vehicle to counter that. See if he can get a shot.
Keep rolling.
Alright, let's go try to find this guy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gonna have empty around him.
Got a couple. We got 3 techies rolling out here. Muff Bandit taking up the rear here in his SPG. Let's see if they can get around the end of this MTLB. This would be the perfect place for the ambush. Muff,
Get up there. That's friendly
Muff
shit.
can hear it.
Get
He's
up
on
there.
the search.
Yeah, I lost my gunner, guys. He's right there. Across the road.
There we go.
We got it. Oh, no. This is terrible depression. No depression. There we go.
Yeah, the berm here on this road is just preventing his line of sight. It is just over the top of this hill. Oh, smart. Whoever is driving that MTLB realizes they have a lot more going on around them than they first thought. Backing off. It's going to save them a shot from this SPG, unless Muff happens to see it through the trees, which is possible. This is the Muff Bandit. Can he see it?
Alright, I pulled away to the northwest.
Like, go in the ditch and have your gunner peek out.
Can you go down the hill?
Alright. Yep, it looks like they are choosing to back off here Both vehicle sets backing out.
Technical is still south of our MTLB.
Yeah, engage that. Engage there. And don't push up any further because London is still a bit further
I can
away.
put a mortar on that hill, Evan. If they're stationary.
Looks like MTLB and squad possibly trying to engage these techies. And then off to the east here in the distance, you might be able to see them, maybe just barely. I'll get a little zoomed in here for you.
I can switch my...
We have another squad, I believe that is... What was we? I think that is Digits.
The MTLB is ice.
Digit is in it, I know for sure. And they are coming up through that. That is Londart's. Londart's squad is the one pushing through that forest way out in the distance. Possibly going to pinch in the defenders here. Looks like our defenders back here on the fob location.
Smart move by them. We didn't expect them.
We may have Triton on Binox here. May have spotted this enemy team here. This squad Londarts is pushing through the forest.
How far east?
For sure. Let's see if we can get the map zoomed out for you here. Here's a general look at it.
Kamikaze, you do anything to assist?
One, we'll check the MTLB in position to see that.
Command, I've got eyes on farmhouse A733. Somewhat predictably heavy enemy presence there.
Alright. So Triton may have spotted that, but it looks like they aren't making a move to engage from the defense point. Now this right here in the trench is technically the attackers' objective. But they are getting distracted by Creeping's tactics of putting a squad up on the hill as kind of a defensive overwatch slash red herring, if you will.
Get to my position, please.
And this... The attackers took the option to set up a mortar fob, a firebase option.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick my squad.
Doesn't look like they put it to any use so far. Let's see if they've got... Oh, I spoke as they started mortaring. Great timing. We've got our squad lead here. That would be Silent on Kennett's team. So our attackers here. Putting mortar rounds out. Now if he puts more out, let's see if we can go chase those down. There's the splash.
Sounds like he's still out there.
Coming in with the air.
Copy.
Alright.
Can we see them if they dismount? I guess that tech is...
Alright, we hear them going out. Let's see where they ended.
Moving up a little bit, squad lead.
Looks like we're taking contact up here again on the ridge.
You still want me assaulting?
Yeah.
Alright, techies are getting closer. Might have to hold.
Yeah.
Alright.
100.
Eyes on. Yeah.
Shoot it.
Looks like we have Merrick on screen now, kind of mashed in with everybody else, trying to figure out what's going on here.
Should I keep him up or?
Hold. Okay. Those last two were maybe roofs open just a hair more south.
They're moving right towards him.
I don't know if you're hearing my command comms here, but lawn darts trying to help range in the mortars.
If you can get
Telling them to ship a little bit south.
Like 155.
Are they moving, left or right? Okay.
They're up on the ridge line. Yep, left to right. I lost them in the trees. They're probably going to be somewhere like 160 from here now. They're going to be right on the friendlies.
Oh man, an easy shot. Who? Atomic Peach missing the shot. 50 meters out. Less than 50 meters out. We got the MTLB broadside. Oh. Stream shame. Atomic Peach. That was the shot. Alright, let's see if that turns out to be a bad thing. It's like Merrick shooting back. Yeah. Let's see, Merrick.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Alright.
He's up on that hill, 143.
Alright, we've got a couple of the techie squad. Looks like they took some contact. Healing up with their local medic. Zokalar here, it looks like. They need to get that techie back in the fray. That MTLB is wreaking havoc on their defensive hill. Looks like the defenders are more or less routed off this hill. Creeping Kennett doing a good job of pushing Creeping's troops off of their defense point.
Are you dead?
Hold on, no, I'm not dead.
No, he's alive. He just clipped into the map.
I'm literally looking straight down, so I can't tell what anything's going on.
It's like we've got Kennett sneaking another group in from the west in the tree line. We've got Merrick live
You
on
good?
screen here.
You must have been in
I don't know
the tree
how
or
the
something.
hell I did that.
This group here in the tree line.
I was so freaking scared. I was like, no. Is there more in the trees, Merrick?
Hey, they hit us with a rocket from the trenches. It was a good shot. We are pulling back.
Tactical comms, guys.
Looks like the MTLB taking 50 cal shots and a lat hit on the MTLB finally. SPG taking shots at the shot. Oh, 50 cals, yep. They need to get out of there. That has been that position's been compromised. The Muff Bandit possibly going to be going in.
I don't have visual.
Is he? He knows it's up there. That's got to be torture. Not being able to see exactly where he's at. Somebody took one long-range shot at it though and made a great contact. Looks like Creeping's got people falling back to defend.
Stop moving as well.
Moving into the trench. Now part of the rules for this op. Oh. Muff took one out. Long-range shot ended up actually taking somebody out. Oh, that poor soul. SPG. What can the Muff Bandit see? Looks like he's going to reload here. Looks like we got a lot of new animations in V10. One of them you just witnessed with that reload. To no effect. 50 cal tech putting spray on the hillside. They know they're up there. They pulled all their guys off so they have free reign to just shoot at will.
Enemies moving south, or I guess right to left. They're about 210 to 215 from us.
871. The one that long that is about to assault. Not about to
Oh, MTLB making a techie out and taking it out. And Muff Bandit, seeing the tracers, manages to get the perfect shot, taking out the MTLB. Let's see, it was on the hillside, full on shot. That was an amazing SPG shot. These SPG techies have next to no drop off, couple hundred meters, so that shot was just like laser line. That was amazing. Oh, and the mortar! Perfectly ranged and just a little bit late. Oh man, if only he could have got that mortar shot in just a few seconds earlier, they could have saved their own MTLV. Oh my god. That is brilliant.
Fucking mortars are nasty.
Yeah. Who's their mortar man?
Oh my.
If they do this right, those mortars, now that fobs can take damage from explosives, if they mortared this radio here, they could end up getting their objective done without ever having touched it. Let's see if that's their intent.
Okay, so once you guys get contact, let us know where they're at. We're gonna dump the mortars eventually and we're gonna go.
Looks like Kenneth has managed to keep a ton of his team intact while taking out a large majority of creeping. A very good show for his first op commanding. This is just round 1, so creeping will have a chance to get his revenge. But as it stands right now, it looks like, let's check the deaths on our teams here. All of Squad 1 is down. A good portion of Squad 2. All of Squad 3 is down. Most of Squad 4. It looks like the irregular militia forces, not looking so hot. They've got about a squad and a half total guys left. And meanwhile, we've got 4 deaths on the Russian ground forces. Kenneth, command, keeping almost all of his guys alive in that entire assault. Very well done.
I was being patched up, give me a second. Go around me, stay low.
Oh, looks like we're trying to get a little bit of lat action. This guy putting a frag round. It's like, got 2 guys that are getting pushed on by an entire squad. Mortars going off right behind me here, taking out another of the irregular militia forces. Well placed mortars, very well placed.
Lima 847. Lima 847.
Lima 847.
I'm gonna start pushing.
Actually, correct.
You can't see any better, move forward and find something.
Half a slow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Am I looking for the gas station? Is that what I'm looking at?
I'll keep eyes on gas.
You want Eric looking at the gas
Looks like
station,
we've got a full squad plus the remainders of our attacking force.
Okay.
Going to be pushing on these. Looks like 3 or 4 militia forces.
Contact 300, tree line. Between us and squad.
Squad down. Pull back.
See if we can get you a good view of what's going on here. The attackers pushing up through this trench into what they think is a defended position. I highly doubt they realize that this is the scraps of what's left of this force.
Squad lead, this is a great position approach from, except for that damn sun.
Yeah. Okay, remember, if we have the option to, we're skipping the farmhouse. We'll have someone suppress it and we're pushing it to the trench.
Looks like we've got a couple of GLs trying to put some distracting smoke.
It's just north of Squad 7.
The thing about those smokes from the GLs is they are a vertical signal and lot less effective at covering smoke.
Something 300 in the grass field, but I'm not sure if it's enemy.
Hold one. We are being engaged from contact directly in front of Squad 7.
Oh, and it looks like Merrick pushing his small fire team size element up on these three. Crossfire is deadly. Looks like they lost one. Two. Did they lose that one? They did. Last guy, our lonely lat, stuck in the field, crawling for his life. Meanwhile, mortars just pounding the defensive location with smoke. Very smart. Looks like they are smoking a ton of this trench, allowing them to push up. Those mortar smokes introduced with this new version of Squad make huge clouds. That is going to be an amazing push if they can just get up and run. I don't think they realize that most of the forces are dead. We've got a few defenders in this small hut here. One defender left down in the trench. And two-pronged attack from Kenneth. Got this 50 cal just... Oh, let's see. Is that a grenade? That was a smoke grenade going out there, trying to smoke off the position to get themselves up into this bunker.
Command is down. Who's new command? Is it Evan?
Yeah, let's slowly push in. Taking down the fob.
Russia just pushing with aggression here. The remainder of the militia forces hiding in a fire shelter bunker. Like only two left at this bunker. We've got one lonely soldier crawling through the field out here. Also,
left.
Last ditch effort at eliminating the attackers. Got Merrick. It sounds like we've got Merrick crawling through the field here.
There's one down.
Oh, I was wrong. That is Pain 12B. Oh, and he crawls right into three attackers. And he manages... Oh, he traded. There's the trade. That leaves us with just a handful left. Actually, one. We've got Nambu. Nambu is our final guy.
Yeah, moving off into this defilade.
Defending to the last. Looks like he's got his rocket out. He just took a shot. A random shot into the woods, just hoping to get somebody.
Do we know where their hab is or their fodder?
One said that he was on it, so I'm guessing...
This is one of the most exciting and scary things, is being the last man. Oh, and he is down. Let's see if that's a GG call. That is a GG call. So that is Kenneth coming out on top for his first op. And relatively unscathed with only 11 deaths. That was a very good showing by Kenneth. We are going to quickly roll the map and get the team switched over. I'm going to stay on the Russian team, but this time it will be creeping in his SLs. So we are going to cut to a break real fast, get team switched, and I will come back to you when we are set to go on the next half.
Oh, wow. Good
Jesus.
game, you guys.
Okay.
Alright gents, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out to SOTT Basic. I'm your instructor today, it's Hammering Hutch. You guys can simply just call me Hutch. When we're suppressing an enemy target, the whole intent of that is to keep their heads down so an adjacent unit can maneuver onto them. Alright, and during this process, we have a thing that happens automatically and organically within each, either whether it be buddy team or fire team, is there's no lull in the gunfire, thus talking guns. Open fire. Contact front. Alpha, bound. He sees me. I'm down. Bravo, down. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Alright, Bravo set. Alpha up. He sees me. I'm down. is known as a file. You're now in what is known as a staggered column, and usually used when moving from one location to another where contact is imminent. Those are your basic formations that we utilize in squad ops. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course was created to ensure Squad Ops participants share the same knowledge and understanding of the use and applications of mission-specific weapons and the basic tactics involved in their deployment. The Automatic Rifleman. The Automatic Rifleman is the foundation of a fire team and/or squad. The job of the Automatic Rifleman is to deliver a high volume of prolonged, effective suppressing fire on enemy positions to allow the maneuver of friendly units during offensive operations and the repelling of enemy attacks in defensive operations. The Grenadier, a key member of the fire team and squad. The Grenadier is first and foremost a rifleman who is capable of delivering accurate fire of both high explosive and smoke rounds on point and area targets at varying distances. One of the other added benefits of the Grenadier is to engage dead space, which is essentially an area that cannot be hit by direct fires. The Light Anti-Tank Gunner. Soldiers carrying light anti-tank weapons are, just as Grenadiers, riflemen first. They are the ideal infantry-based counter to both lightly armored and thin-skinned vehicles. At short, medium, and far distances, the rockets fired are a viable weapon against groups of infantry as well. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course, although not a requirement, is highly encouraged for Squad Ops participants to join to expand their knowledge of how to utilize the tools that are given to us within Squad.
Squad, big boy, and we'll be laying down some mortar fire.
And welcome back. We are getting prepped here for round 2, and creeping this time on the Russian ground forces is getting his squads set up to assault the defenders. This time Kenneth setting up as the defenders, and I know he's hoping for a favorable outcome for his second round to win both and wipe the board, but creeping historically has some curveballs to throw, especially after he gets a feel for how the other command does things. So we'll see if he can bring something interesting to the table and give us a good show. So just for some clarification, this round we've got creeping with his 4 squad leaders: Triton, Stormfront, Bird Person, and XF. They are on the Russian ground forces, so this time around they will be the blue team. And then Kenneth with his 4 squad leaders: Londarts, Dr. Kamikaze, Silent, and Evan SMA are going to be on the irregular militia forces this time. So the red team, as before, will be our defenders, and the blue team, Russia, will be our attackers. Looks like they are getting set for a platoon brief, so let's go ahead and listen in on that here.
Looks like we got just about everybody here.
So
last round was tough.
Just about everybody.
This round's going to be a lot more fun. We're going to be doing a coordinated push across a field under the cover of mortar smokes. We're going to be coming in from Stepney, hitting that tree line that's right next to where the fob was, where that farmhouse is. We're going to have half the platoon bound over under a base of fire and under the cover of mortar smokes. We're going to assault that tree line as well as the farmhouse that apparently has holes in the roof that mortars love to get into.
Yes.
And then as soon as they're set up, the other half of the platoon is going to get in, and we're going to clear out that fob. Pretty simple. All right, that's really it. Break them out.
All right. In converse to Kenneth, we've got Creeping showing us a quick and concise platoon brief. Looks like he has a plan to basically create a covering screen and covering fire for his troops, and he's going to push his whole platoon in one assault line to basically get that house that we know has holes in the roof. He's thinking about dropping mortars through the holes. So that ought to be interesting. Let's see if we can get it accurate enough to get through those slats. Gonna fly over here real quick and see if we can get a spot on what Kenneth has in mind. See if we can tell based on the vehicles. As I mentioned before, the militia get to choose between two different loadouts. The fortified farmers, which is what it sounds like, a more fortified option, allowing them more defensive emplacements and a mortar, or the mobile militia, which allows them a little more mobility with the multiple technical vehicles, which it appears they have chosen. I see 3 technicals here. Got the SPG and the 2 Dishka techies. Oh, I may be wrong. That is a Logi. So we've got 2 technicals. Yeah. I believe, if I'm reading this document correctly, our operation summary document here, they grab 1 additional technical if they're fortified. With this 1 additional technical, it appears they may have chosen the fortified farmers, so we will see emplacements and possibly a mortar thrown up here by Kenneth.
So do you want us to put him?
He put him to good effect last time.
We can see it from here. Look, 60 meters away. That's our home. You see that farmhouse? We're chilling in there, all right?
Oh, we're gonna get so hard.
All right. Okay, and we're chilling in that forest. In that forest. Ready?
Oh, no.
Okay. So we're gonna have.
How's it going, Johnny Omaha? Good to see you here. Looks like the defenders might be... Can't hear them on local comms, but from the looks of the troops, they might be breaking out to get in position for live. We're going to head back over to the Russian ground forces and escort them out of base as we go live this time and see what Creeping chooses to do.
Oh!
Dodge, duck, and dive.
Fucking killing it! Damn, you got him.
Copy that,
Creeping.
Yo,
dodge, duck, duck, and dive.
Circulation. Yeah, that's it.
Man, you got a good memory.
So once again, we do have a good amount of cameras. We did have a couple that disconnected from our last grouping, but we still have a good amount here. We've got, let's see if we can roll through a couple of them real quick, just to give you a good view of what kind of views you're going to have. Looks like we've got Digit, Evan SMA, CG Fu is out. It looks like he may have had an issue. We still do have the Muff Bandit, Merrick, Nuke Dukem, Triton.
Okay.
I have to use my trackpad, otherwise it'll be too strong.
I'm gonna use a controller. I'm gonna use a joystick.
And of course, your commentator, me, Google Trex. Looks like we're all loaded up and ready for live. We do not have a live time yet. I'm sure that will come very shortly here.
I have a
But now
light
the
gun.
fan's turned off. Hot.
Oh
Damn
my
it.
god.
Yeah, Alpha, that is very possible. If with that heavy charge, they may clean sweep
I
this.
can't hear it inside the Vic. And
give me their
why are
RPG.
your sound effects on full volume?
Did you see the update for
this is
V10 where
squad.
they said like
Yeah,
inside
so with,
vehicles it's a 50% reduction of sound?
With this charging,
That's a fucking lie. That's what
basically
that is.
a charging tactic by creeping, we may see either a very quick push from the attackers pushing the defenders off, or we may see the defenders, having taken this fortified farmer's kit, be prepared to repel that full frontal attack.
Yeah, you're east.
This is
One sec.
the kind of stuff I personally really enjoy watching, is these basically meat grinders, and I may be a little bit basic in that sense,
So
but
don't
I
try.
really enjoy these.
Or yeah, they'll bounce back at you.
Basically, throw your troops at them and see who's better.
You can't like.
Little
it's
bit of
a physical
maneuvering,
object. You can't
great.
go,
I know Creeping's going to throw that in
nothing
there
goes through
because
it.
of how he is and how he likes to command. He's going to have some kind of maneuvering. He's going to have something in his back pocket, as he's been commanding for quite a while. So we'll see if this comes into play.
We'd be like mounted.
I'm going to wait to hear what exactly Kenan has in mind for them before making the specific personnel decisions. It's sure to be fairly elaborate what we'll be doing, so hang on to your seatbelts.
What would you do then?
Scream.
I can make it erect.
Agreed, Alpha. Smashing two armies together, always entertaining.
I am the erectile dysfunction.
I don't really think supplies are pressure, you know?
I have been known to help multiple old men.
Kenneth, what was the good reference?
You could put all the way out on the corner, you know, as
Do you
well.
want me to be here so you got
I think you're
cover?
Alpha.
Hoping we see a
about?
lot
Where
of
would we
time
be
come
looking?
down the
West?
pipe real soon here.
You'd be looking
I mean,
west.
but they're gonna come
Each
from
command
that,
has their
you know,
own
where we came from,
own way
down
of
there on the
prepping
end.
their
You know, that
team,
opening
and as
section
we heard
down
last
there?
time,
I think
Kenneth has
that's
a
the
very
best fucking place, 'cause that's the only way
detail-oriented
they're
type
gonna
of
come
planning
unless they go straight
strategy.
across
He
the field.
gets his guys set, and he can make sure they know exactly where they're going. Creeping also makes sure his guys know exactly where they're going, but he is a much more broad plan style commander and lets his squad leads take over the finer details. There is a benefit to both strategies. Both end up creating a great show for both sides. So let's just
What about like right around in this
hopefully
area?
see a live time shortly and get this show on the road.
Where I'm trying to get is right at the end here, where we came from earlier.
Yeah.
If it's
that's too far away from everything.
Yeah, too far.
Then-
Too far away.
Well, it's within the
just
build
think
circle,
about
right?
you were gonna play.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it by the.
Alright, let's go. Everyone go to the rocket, right?
Because that, you know damn well that's where they're gonna fucking come from if they come this.
While we're waiting, let's actually go and see if we can see any of the buildings that the defenders
And
are
if they
placing
come out
down.
of the tree line and there's a fucking MG nest sitting there. They're
It looks like the defenders placing that. A couple of sandbags down. We've got an indirect fire shelter, some passive defensive structures, possibly a few defensive structures around this house. No, they are not focusing on the house too much. Looks like we do have a live time now at 1:40, so roughly 2 minutes out from live. Get back to the Russia ground horses in time to escort them out. And that radio is in the northern trench, all by its lonesome. Not too many defenses built, it looks like, but let's see. Yeah, it looks like there might be a brief going on here,
Yeah,
but
Nate.
I cannot hear the local comms.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be putting.
See if we can find you a camera that's in on
I did,
this.
I think right at the end. Where do you think I should put this, dude? I'm thinking right here in the grass. Because they're not gonna see it, dude. They're gonna be.
Probably not.
They're natural.
All right. With live time coming up, we're gonna just do the opposite of last time, and we're gonna follow Russia out this time. Looks like we've got about a minute to live, just under a minute to live. And we'll get this show on the road. Yep, vehicles firing up, getting set to go.
Yeah, this is D-Day all over again. We need 10 times more infantry to do this. But we got it.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's bring the entire Russian army.
T-minus 30
Pull another
seconds.
Stalingrad.
Why don't we just rush all these vehicles inside the compound?
Because that would be suicide.
I tried that once.
Roughly 30
Yeah,
seconds to live.
We did that
20.
No, it
Everyone
wouldn't
died.
It's not fun
It
to
was not fun.
It would be fun for the other
The
team.
Heard creeping say over command comms, they are rushing for Stepney. It's like Stepney over here, just north of that trench location. They're gonna get themselves set up, get that mortar up.
Three,
Trying to get us
one.
We are live.
Yes, it's all good.
Don't jinx it. Beat the logic.
Should we be following the loud ass on TLB?
More armor that way.
Yeah, he should.
I think we get a bonus on the road. It's in the road.
Look at him just skate around. Oh my gosh.
Slow down.
Slow
down, dude.
That squirrely MTLV getting away from
Guys, that'll go. Everybody gets
Anybody who's driven one of the MTLBs in game knows that that track makes for a little bit of an ice skating rink type feel for the driving sometimes.
Nervous.
You know, guys, I have a good feeling about this. I think this is
Palms
gonna
are
be
sweaty.
great.
Yeah, it's gonna be alright. You know, they're gonna
It's gonna
do
be
what he
fun.
did last time.
Dismount.
Nothing. We went Bravo.
Alright, looks like they have got to Stepney and everyone's dismounted like a dropped box of ants. Just spreading out.
Okay, all squads, line yourself up on the edge of Stepney, orienting towards the Bob.
One is getting most west of it.
Yeah, I feel like the road is about as well as we're gonna do for vehicle. Put it pretty far west though.
We're gonna get in a line, orientating south.
Our attackers clearing out the Stepney village here, just in case the defenders chose to have a satellite squad out here. A warning squad, if you will. But it looks like Kennett may have just kept his guys on defense, keeping the bulk of his forces ready to repel the attack. Which he can't possibly know, but he may have just picked the perfect strategy to counter this bullheaded rush. This headlong rush, rather, by creeping.
Yeah, the wreck cap has to be visible.
Let's go take a look at our defenders, see what they're doing to set up and counter this. Got a couple guys up here on the hill, probably some kind of scouting force.
You guys coming up?
It's like Lawn Darts squad up here. He's got a little fire team and a couple of technicals.
Command, we'll
Looks like we've got our SPG technical manned by Valkyrie.
Raj. Okay, once everybody's in position, let us know and we'll start getting the smoke down. We're gonna have squads 1 and 2.
And they do have IEDs and mines in the game.
Once 1 and 2
Let's see if we can see if they have them set up.
or inside the tree line,
They do have a couple of skulls on the map, so that is possible that they have something out here for us. A little surprise if the MTLB tries to make it around the back. Yep, they have placed a mine down. Dug down. That small red dot is death to any vehicle that runs over it.
I got eyes on the house.
Seems a little unfair to have such a small thing be able to do so much damage.
3 requesting permission to move into gas station with my squad to provide.
I'm sure they're on
So
that
we've
hill
got
to the
Fu and
southwest.
Digit, 2 of our cameras tonight. Fu unfortunately not able to keep his cam going, but Digit going to be able to provide you this technical cam. He's got one of the Dishkas overwatching this entire valley.
Full squad.
3. It's about halfway into the town on the MSR, on the left-hand side.
Copy. Can you see anything, Digit?
No eyes, trees blocking the way.
Our defenders spreading out a little bit here from the trench, but the bulk of them remain in line of sight of their defense location. Got a couple, 1, 2, we've got a number of Dishkas emplacements here, so they definitely chose the fortified farmers.
We got eyes on a Chiteki where we were originally, making a full squad with Vic.
We've got a good amount of repelling force here, and they are oriented up toward that hill, as that is historically the main location from which people attack. It's the one they used last game to great effect, and I imagine with the orientation of their gunners,
Alpha, I want
they are
MG.
expecting the same.
Want this MG mounted. What?
We have the defenders putting out mortars, and he is oriented toward the attackers. Let's see if we have contact. Very close. We have contact in the compound.
A little close. Those were enemy mortars that landed on gas station.
Hey,
Alright, those are smokes.
We have returned smokes by Creeping. He has placed his smokes out. And if this coincides with how his plan was set, he will advance his troops through these smokes. Let's see if we see them moving.
You get on and back?
Yep, up on the back.
They're pushing the MTLB up. They're pushing troops up. We have a lot of movement by the attackers here. A lot of good movement. They need to get moving before these smokes fall out. It may be... I hear more of the attackers' mortar. Creeping, putting smokes into the field. Yes. We've got gunfire. Technicals on the hill taking shots at the attackers in the gas station. We've got the MTLB putting down cover fire. This is moving as Creeping has described it. Let's see if we can keep the movement up. Smokes in V10, these mortar smokes developing, looking amazing, and working so well for cover. MTLB putting out suppressing fire into that true line at random. We've got the Muff Bandit out there in the field heading toward the smokes.
Bravo 5 report.
Alpha's full up, but we're suppressed by Dishka.
We've got a full screen, as you can see from the red outlines. We've got a full screen of smokes from the mortars, just completely obscuring any vision the defenders may have. So we've got random fire coming out of the smoke toward the attackers and into the smoke. All the chaos. This is what it's like when you throw one army at another. Got some of the smokes dissipating, creeping, trying to keep up the wall.
Ammo's been expended on mortars.
One thing I'll say here is the attackers are not making very good use of this smoke cover that they have. There's only a few tracers coming toward them, and they are just starting to
They got this field.
Then LMG or HMG.
If you can clear out that farmhouse, get out.
Yo, we have enemies to the north, to our rear. Contact northeast
possibly
to our
some
fucking
return
rear.
mortar fire into the smoke. Try and keep them from crossing through it.
No one at the mortars, they're down, I think.
Do we have eyes
Roger, we're counter-rotating around.
Good job, good job.
Command, are we black on smoke?
Yeah, we are black on smoke. Black on mortar smoke.
Just heard the call from over command comes. They are out of mortar smoke. So they had a great display, but not a lot of people made the charge through it. It looks like they took contact from another direction with the suppression, and that together, it looks like we have been derailed. We have had Russia's headlong attack derailed a little bit. Let's see if
how do you
we
go
can
into admin
compensate.
Since you're dead. What?
And the defenders putting return mortars out into the Stepney city. Still not close enough to affect any of the attackers. But they know they're there. That's for sure. Oh, much closer. They took one out. Somebody wandering around outside the gas station got his head.
Command is down.
Oh my goodness! It looks like that mortar took out command.
Copy that. We're holding.
What a mortar! Creeping is down.
Thank you.
We lost 3 guys.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Alright, if you're not a
Creeping is
medic,
down.
or if you're not hurt, spread out a little bit.
It's like the splash off from the mortars taking a little bit of
How
damage
did I not
inside
get hurt by
there.
that shit?
Those guys all bunched
I don't know,
up.
medic, I'm
still
gonna
managed
need
to
you.
get a little bit of damage.
Yep. Just trying to take the damage.
Mortars still coming out from the defenders. Most of Russia has abandoned the city proper and stacked up in this gas station. Oh, and we have a squad by the attackers pushing out toward the hill.
Pushing up the tree line. We need to
Both are very
platoon directly.
Alright,
Alright, we're on our flank.
going through
We're gonna
the
be moving up
forest
the tree
here.
line to the farmhouse right now.
Defenders may not have any idea with all of the distraction of the smoke.
Yeah, reports mortars landed 50 meters short.
Alright, we're gonna keep on pushing up this tree line right here, guys. This one right here.
Bill Smith, this is Google Trex commentating tonight. We have lots of cameras up.
What are we doing on gas station? We're just sitting
So
down
you'll see a lot of point of view, but the voice behind the cameras, Google Trex.
If you can, try pushing to your direct west up into Stepney. Get more of a basic fire. We're pushing up the tree line right now. We're trying to make a distraction.
XF calling over command comms that he is trying to create a distraction in this tree line so that Triton and the remainder of the forces can make their way up from that gas station. That gas station at this point being their Achilles heel, they cannot
You can
move
take the
off
big
of
houses
it.
just to our northwest if you want.
Stay away
One
from the
soldier
window,
taking a
through the
few
window.
pot shots at a retreating enemy in the tree line ahead. Scout reporting more than likely that there is enemy contacts to their, I believe that is the west. Meanwhile, over here in the defenders' trench, we have nobody touched. The defenders fresh and ready to repel. A lot of sandbags, a lot of separation dividers so that one grenade doesn't take out a bunch of people. Good amount of options for the defenders to defend the farm.
Down a bit, start to move from tree to tree.
Yep.
So I think we're going to be coming up on them here shortly.
Now we're going to be combat speed. Expect for combat.
Like XF making his way with his troops through the forest here. You can see their outlines. A little bit of the actual troops there.
Yep,
they're taking shots, and IED goes off, taking out 2. XF is down. That is their squad lead. What an unfortunate location. We've got 2 well-placed explosives this game, taking out key members of the leadership of the squads.
Alright, XF is down. I'm in command. Yep. 1, go ahead and keep pushing east as best
Looks
as you
like
can.
they have a great view from this hill. Sparse trees on this hillside allow them to see a lot over the hill here.
Disregard along with 2.
I believe this is lawn darts up here.
And then we're going to cut south.
Lawn darts in the techie with his binocs.
7. Keypad 7.
Got himself a scout.
You want 4 to mount up as well? Or stay here?
Let's see if we can get the MTLB.
Long range shots going out from this Dishka technical.
More up, more up, more up.
Go ahead and make your way to the
Just some spray out into an empty field. He thinks he sees something.
We're gonna push it.
How many are in the MTLB right now?
Way too many.
We can fit a few more.
Not much help doing this.
Alright, 2, you're not gonna fit. Just go ahead and start pushing.
It's like they're mortaring close on their own tree line here. Mortar's taking out a couple more. MTLB is firing up. Looks like they may try and use that to support their own push. Smart idea to get that out there, get that asset in play. And the defenders sent a flanking squad to great effect as this squad has managed to get right,
just up the road from us,
right behind the enemies here.
I got over quad 1. They're in the building.
So we've got a cam of the Muff Bandit circling this warehouse, right in the fray with this flanking squad. Yep, he sees somebody, he taking some shots. Let's see if we can.
They're on the outside of this wall too.
See if we can see this play out here. Oh, we got a trade here. Looks like their squad lead for the flanking squad is down. Yeah, Terex, that was a very good idea. Muff running into the smokes, ready for that charge, but nobody else seemed ready and willing to rush in there. If nothing else, it looked amazing.
Any command left? This is 2. I got movement
And
west
Muff
over by
Bandit,
me.
knowing he's got somebody in here, taking it nice and slow.
West and Stepney. We're here, guys.
All right. Muff Bandit. Yep.
One down.
Managed to get that guy. Let's take a look and see what's happening over here at the objective.
Alright, the only thing we can do is flank east right now, so we're gonna flank east.
Once again, Kennett managing to keep most of his platoon alive here. With only 8 deaths to the 23 deaths on the Russian forces. It looks like creeping, while making a very amazing looking push possible, didn't turn out to actually work as well as he was hoping.
Copy. We're low on ammo. Keep that in mind if the MGs.
Guys, northeast. I need one or two
Silence,
to stay
don't
on that
fucking
side.
fire until you have to.
I
want the ammo for the HMGs.
Kennett as command still out here in the ditch, managing to stay alive through both of his offensives and running everything in ship shape.
Push your southern fire team north to help one.
Got Evan SMA shooting back at MTLB, taking shots. Those tracers, easy to follow. Looks like. Managing to take shots with that MTLB. It is done. Just like that, the MTLB is down. Evan SMA doing good work on that 50 cal. Looks like Evan SMA on that 50 cal taking out the Muff Bandit, trying to cross the field there.
I'll stand by for you up here.
Got one more. It's like Triton crawling through the field for his life.
Sure, there's no one in these.
Is it safe to stand in the trees?
That building's
Getting down to the last few attackers here on Creeping's platoon. Evan SMA spraying this entire tree line just south of the gas station. Managing to get one.
Is that where the fob is?
Fob is to our
southwest right now.
Do you want me to scout out in parallel with you on the other tree line?
Not much left for the attackers. We've got one guy here at gas station alone. Oh, it does look like we still have a squad alive. I should check the scoreboard before I say something like that. Looks like we may have lawn darts. Not lawn darts. Who's on this side? Triton. Triton and his squad might still be alive out there. Alright, yeah, we do have a flanking element by the attackers still up and running. Leaderless with creeping down. See if they can formulate a plan of their own. Let's see if we can get... We've got a couple of guys out here. Kudu from FFO joining us for our ops tonight. And a couple other guys, Hamity, Paradox. Yeah, it looks like we have Triton's squad out here and some stragglers from a couple other squads probably, as a couple of squads have been picked apart. So near an end of an op or
southwest to these trees.
Near the end of an op or near the
Try to
scattering of a team, we tend to see a lot of squad conglomeration and platoon type movements in a smaller form.
Okay. Good luck out there.
Yeah, the disc is definitely on that farmhouse, for sure.
It's like the attackers making a slow and steady push through this tree line that abuts the objective. It also happens to run right into a heavily defended house. So we'll see how they handle that.
Covering your guys' approach.
Triton
over to you guys.
taking the lead here, pushing his squad and what remains of the others
to each other. We're gonna get
toward the defenders here.
Alright, let's start moving. Cover to cover.
It's like Evan SMA, you can see near the top left of your screen, still taking shots at the remaining remaining attacker. I shouldn't call him dead yet. He's not quite dead, but he is probably not feeling so great with those bullets shooting. No, Karmakut is not in the op tonight.
So right now there's two at the same tree. Do not be at the same tree.
Frag out.
Triton, stop for no reason. Hit. Keep shooting and pushing, guys.
It's like the defenders throwing some grenade launching or GL grenades out of the attackers. They get very
Fuck! I see one. What do you see one? 240. I'm gonna bunch up with you for a second. Oh my, can't see him.
Holy fuck! Right now. Smokes in front.
Keep moving, keep moving, come on. 243.
like Triton putting down suppressing fire to get some of his troops forward.
Okay, take cover, split. I'm smoking. It's gonna give us up.
Got attackers putting out some smokes and GL smokes down the range. Try and create a barrier of sight.
Towards you, Triton and Biscuit.
Covering you, squad lead.
Biscuit, you got a bandage?
Cover the squad lead.
No.
Pushing.
Shit. I need a bandage.
I'm coming to you. I'm coming. Coming.
Oh.
Triton taking a hit, going back to his medic.
You're good? Get back to the medics.
No, I'm still bleeding. Still bleeding.
He's telling his medic he's still bleeding, he's out of bandages and cannot stop that bleeding.
Get back to your medic.
Yeah, let's use grenades, guys. I think we're within range. Nade out.
Defenders now fully aware of where the attackers are pushing from. Smoke being developed in the woods, in the tree lines. Looks like we're going to try for a final push here. The remainder of the attacking forces.
Shoot, guys, shoot.
Looks like they rolled a technical off that hill after this entire op. The entire time we've got a technical finally moving off that hill. Those dishkas up on the hill being a huge nuisance for the attackers. And the Dishka managing to spot and just take him out. That was brutal.
Yep, I'm
Techie bugged out.
Now it looks like we do have just a small amount, probably 4 or 5 here in the tree line that are still alive. Dishka technicals circling, and Triton without a bandage. Looks like he may just bleed out.
behind your stable.
It's like the 5th time.
I'm out of bandits.
Tiki, I have eyes on the Tiki directly north of us.
Techi's north.
Spotted, are you good?
I think that's 2 Tikis.
We got Nuke
really,
Duke in
like,
here on
sure
the
you know
cam
very
with
close
his
in the middle
phone
of that
out,
field.
ready to just blow an IED probably. I imagine they place one. Yeah, if you look on my map here in the Lima 7 grid here, we've got a couple of scroll and crossbones. I don't think they expected somebody to drive a truck through that tree line. Very likely an IED.
Yeah, let's just go in there, give it one more shot.
You hear Triton over local comms. Let's go in there and give it one more shot. They are going to make an effort to push in. And in the nature of the ops, they have no idea how many defenders are left, how many or they know how many attackers they have. But as the last few that they have, oh, Triton goes down, taking a shot from across the field. One of our attackers to bravely try and headlong into that defense. Who does that leave us for attackers? Let's see who this is. APA or APA.
I know, guys, he's behind you, but I can't tell. Bitch. Tree. Try me now.
APA managing to take out the gunner.
Fuck you. Shit is that? Hey guys.
We do end up having a glitch at times. This guy doesn't seem to be able to move out of the tree. I wonder if he's stuck.
Okay, Kudu, me. We're just gonna hang out.
We do have
Come
one
on,
more
sorry,
alive. Kudu over here on the rocks. Let's see if he can make something of this odd angle he's managed to get himself on. It looks like we lost APA. Kudu, oh, and there goes Kudu. We'll hear a GG very shortly here if that was the last one. Was Kudu the last? He was. There's the GG call as we establish everyone is down. So Kenneth coming out on top 2-0 against Creeping tonight. Very good showing by Kenneth as it was his first time commanding. And it looks like that's going to wrap up both our sessions for the evening. Be sure to check us out at squadops.gg to get registered for our event. Follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/squadops, and at YouTube, youtube.com/squadops. And we will be broadcasting another event again this week, multiple if we can do it, on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So join us then, and until then, have a good evening, and thank you for joining us.